mixed martial arts. Mixed martial arts. How do we like our martial arts? We like them mixed!
You damn right we do.
Yeah! Yeah! Woo!
That may be the most excited I've ever heard EKC Leiden ahead of a fist fight. And for damn good reason. Because we got a damn good fist fight just 24 hours away. It is certified. It is official. It is Dricus du Plessis, Khamzat Chimaev, and the rest of UFC 319. And we're here to break it all down for the normal preview show at MMAfighting.com. Great website. Hi, everybody. My name is Jed Meshew. You probably already know who I am. And I'm really excited to talk about one man in particular, but the rest of this fight card. And joining me for this wonderful preview show, the king in the north, a man who we're going to find out how excited he is, because I know he would have been unbelievably excited yesterday before some unfortunateness happened. And now we only have one tough finale, but the king of tough himself, Alexander Kaley. How we doing, AK?
Oh, well, let me tell you, and Alibi Adiris, he looked a little, didn't look great on the scale. I'm kind of dreading waking up Saturday and finding another one more UFC news update that there's been another update to the card, because I don't know what we'll do, Jed, if I lose Donchenko versus Cezinando and Adiris versus Morales, the two Ultimate Fighter 33 finals. Man, I don't know.
Plus Brian Battle is off the card. I know that probably hit you. You know, another tough veteran in Brian Battle. Tough winner, actually.
Champion, Ultimate Fighter 29 champion at 185 pounds, which apparently he cannot make anymore.
He can't do it anymore. Close. He pulled the classic Rumble Johnson. Love that for him. And then, of course, Guzzi.
He is not as thick as Rumble Johnson, by the way. I feel like this is not a good idea for him to follow that path.
Yeah, that's I'll be interested to see if he still has a job come Monday morning, but that's neither. I mean, it is here or there. We'll talk about it maybe because we will answer questions at the end. But that fight is off. And also, AK Guzzi pops for roids, and like a lot of roids. So it's a really tough 24 hours for you and your fandom. But I guess let's hop right into it. Also joining us, of course, producer extraordinaire, No Sleeves, No Mercy. I don't actually know if he's wearing, I can't remember if he's wearing sleeves or not. Oh, No Sleeves, No Mercy, Mr. 3024 himself, EKC Leiden on the ones and twos. So, right. AK, back to you.
Can I apologize? Can I apologize for the late start time? This is my fault. We were late because of me. I was inebriated. That's what people know. I was inebriated. You know, people know I love my substances. I rolled up one of those little things, you know, and then I smoked it. I smoked it like a cigarette, and I apologize, guys. I will get my life together, and this won't happen again.
Don't know why you did that when you could have just smoked cigarettes in honor of Carlos Prates, who I'm sure we will.
Oh, this is true.
Coming up, but before we get into that, AK, UFC 319, Chicago, first time in the Windy City in like 6 years, something like that for the UFC. A card much ballyhooed, a lot of talk about this card, and especially the main event between DDP and Khamzat. But let's just get where you're at. I know you don't do gymnastics anymore. You're an old man. You've hung up your chalk powder and your parallel bars. But how are you feeling ahead of 319? What's the general level of excitement for this weekend?
Like pretty damn high, but it's very much still feels like a one fight card, and it's not. It is not a one fight card. I think as the card sort of rounded into shape, and I think as a lot of us have sort of, you know, as it always happens during fight week, we hear a little more from the fighters. We kind of dig into the stats. We can dig into, like, you know, the meaning behind these matchups. I think we all get a little more, you know, a little more invested. And I think top to bottom, I'm sure I can find one good angle for every fight, right? That's why we do this. That's why we're kind of in the business. But like from a pure fan perspective, it still feels like a one fight card, but what a one fight it is. And like everything else is just gravy. Like I will say this, like this could be 11 stinkers and then like one, like a quality main event. And I don't care. I probably won't criticize the card. All I'm going to remember is Dricus du Plessis and Khamzat Chimaev, either whether it lasts 90 seconds, 25 minutes, it just turns into an ugly-ass fight in the third and fourth rounds, or it ends in one of those rounds. However it turns out, I am so excited, barring any sort of weirdness, right, where we get some freak accident. Like, this is going to be one of the most memorable fights of 2025. Will it be one of the best? I don't know. Like, will we get a cool back and forth battle? I don't know. But we will be talking about this result by the end of the year, no matter what, whether it's DDP asserting his dominance, making a very strong case to be the number one pound for pound fighter in the world, or Khamzat Chimaev, it's almost against all odds, finally completing that journey to UFC champion. I mean, we've said it 1,000 times. When we saw him on Fight Island, his debut, when we saw him knock out Gerald Meerschaert so quickly, we were like, this guy is going to be fast tracked to a title. At 170, 185, take your pick. Within 2 years, he'll be fighting for one of these titles. It took a lot longer than that. There were some health issues. There's COVID issues. There's visa issues. Now we know for sure there were actual visa issues that had to be resolved by President Donald Trump. A lot has gotten in this guy's way. But by the time people listen to this, we will, depending when you listen to this, we could just be hours away from the Khamzat Chimaev walking into the cage to fight for a UFC title. And that sounds so cool, and I am really excited. So, yes, overall, really still just looking forward to this one fight, but the rest of the card ain't bad, and I think it'll do more than tide us over until the headliners walk out.
Yeah, I honestly just in lockstep with everything you said right there, Casey. You can see over my shoulder here, I'm giving this 2 Michelin stars on this particular card because the main event is so strong. I said it months in advance. I said it all fight week. You can never be confident that Khamzat's going to show up, but made weight, it really seems like this made underweight actually came in 2 pounds under the 185 limit. And so it seems very likely that this will go forward. And as long as we're getting that main event, if the rest of the card is a total bomb, it won't be great. We would like that not to be, but it's hard for me to imagine we won't end the night happy, whatever the outcome is on the main event, because either way it goes it's interesting. It's something new. It's something exciting. DDP doing something that's like very few people have done before and sort of ending this hype train. Khamzat Chimaev, like finally doing it, as you put it. AK, you want to hear something crazy that I didn't realize until yesterday when I was writing something, looked it up?
Tell me.
Dricus du Plessis made his UFC debut 3 months after Khamzat Chimaev did. That feels insane to me, given like if you had just polled people in freaking December of 2020 and were like, hey, which of these guys is going to get to a belt first? No human alive would have been like, not only will Dricus get to a title shot before him, he'll actually win the belt and defend it multiple times before Khamzat ever fights for a title. It is insane the journey this man has taken to finally get to where people thought he would be 4 or 5 years ago.
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, one of the big questions we have going into this, Jet, is I don't know what happens if he doesn't complete this journey. Like, this one fight should not define Khamzat's career. Like, that seems like a crazy thing to say. What is he? He's like 30, right? He's not an old guy. He's 31. He's 31 years old. He's only been fighting since, I'm looking this up real quick, 2018. Like, this is he's essentially what we would call like a prospect, like someone who's only been fighting for 7 or 8 years. I guess you're a veteran, but like we've had people come into the UFC with like 7 or 8 years of experience, and then we still call them prospects. It's just, we have seen him when he came in, he came relatively early compared to his, like, when he actually debuted as a pro. So this fight should not define him, but it's kind of a different age now, isn't it? Like the social media age. I think if you lose now, boy, it is just going to be the fraud checks, and the Chimaev was never that good, and now he got exposed. Whatever, buzzword you want to break out, everything will be laid on Chimaev if he does not pull this off. If this goes against the odds and becomes a back and forth battle, like 25-minute battle, I think he can still, and even if he loses that, then I think he maybe leaves with some respect. But I think all of us are expecting this to end inside the distance. And if it's Dricus du Plessis just pounding Chimaev out on the ground, or submitting an exhausted Chimaev, the critics are going to be coming out in full force. I don't know how Khamzat's going to recover from that, especially given his level of activity. So yes, it's fun, crazy to see this journey, crazy to see that we finally got here. But also, I'm really wondering if he doesn't pull it off, where this journey could possibly go next. I can't even come close to predicting it.
Interesting. I'm not entirely sure that we'll get the fraud check conversation if DDP wins. I think this may be an instance where everyone's just like, wow, I guess DDP is really good, and everyone finally comes around. But I'll be interested to see. But let's be honest. The main event is by far the biggest thing happening this weekend. The rest of the fight card pretty solid, and we will get to it. I do want to focus most of our attention on there. And so a little different than how I normally run this. I want to focus on both ends of the ball here. And so let's start, AK, with what is your biggest question for the champion, Dricus du Plessis, heading into this matchup? He is your underdog. Currently, our fans at FanDuel our friends at FanDuel have him at plus, they're probably fans too, at plus 194. Chimaev, a sizable betting favorite, minus 245. More money has kept coming in on Chimaev for a lot of the week as well. So, setting aside Chimaev for the moment, AK, what's your big question for Dricus heading into, the biggest fight of his career, I think?
I wonder where his head's at as far as, again, kind of, I don't think he would ever look past Khamzat. I just don't think that's possible. I think he's as locked in on this as opponent as he is any other person he's ever fought in his entire life. I think he's too smart for that. But I do think there has to be, you reach a certain level and there's that question of more. There's that question of everyone, chasing legacy, go blah, 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 going up to other divisions. It wouldn't be the first time he's talked about it either. I remember his coach was saying that he could have knocked out Alex Pereira if it came to it. I think they were already sort of eyeing a potential mega fight at 205. This is just the nature of the business. Has nothing to do with ego, has nothing to do with like, fighters just like having unrealistic expectations. We're in the post-Conor era, where apparently just defending a title 3, 4, 5 times is not enough. Everyone wants to know, when are you going up? When are you going to become a champ? I want to believe that he's kind of like, he will break the mold because we have so many great names coming up that I would like to see him fight. If he gets past Chimaev, I want to see RDR DDP. I want to see Fluffy Hernandez and DDP. I want to see either Imavov or Pajallo or both somewhere down the road, regardless of who comes out victorious at UFC Paris. So for me, that is like the real big angle here, because if this was 15 years ago, we'd just be saying, cool, DDP's legacy. It's pretty clear how it's gonna go. He's just gonna defend the middleweight belt a bunch of times. But now we've got guys like Brendan Schaub saying, wow, look at DDP, look how thick he is. I mean, imagine him going up to 205. Look how weak heavyweight is right now. Imagine him going up to 265. And these are like fun ideas. These are cool, fun ideas. I won't poo-poo them, guys, if it happens. If DDP says, I got 205 in my sights and I would like to try my hand at 265 someday. Like, that'd just be funny. Like, it'd be hilarious. That's fun. MMA is supposed to be fun. But there is that part of me that...
Yeah, MMA is supposed to be fun.
But there is that part of me that cares about quote-unquote legacy, and guys really... building something substantial. And if he has a run at middleweight where he beats Fluffy Hernandez and RDR and either Imavov or Pajallo, holy crap. Like, I mean, honestly, it would be right up there with some of the all-time greats. And frankly, I would start, people are going to say I'm insane, I would start comparing his championship resume to that of the great Anderson Silva. If that is a run he was able to put together, and Khamzat in those names, I would put it right up there with the Spider. But that's a long way to go, guys. There's a reason we talk about the Spider in such hollow terms, because he got it done. I mean, that this is, you can question some of the guys he beat during his championship run, but stringing together those title runs, those title fights is not easy. So this is only number 3, guys. This is only number 3 for DDP. It's a big one, but it's only number 3. So even if he beats him, we're a long way from comparing him to the GOAT, to the middleweight GOAT. But the path is there, and I hope he stays on it, man.
So do I. I was thinking about this today. I was listening to some other stuff about this fight, and it was just like, I know that everyone wants people to move up. There's so many contenders. And I think if he wins this fight this weekend, he jumps Chris Weidman. He moves to number 3 all time as greatest middleweights in the promotional history. And then Izzy's not that far away, right? Like, if he gets one more, it's certainly an open conversation. And if he gets 2 more, I think he just straight up is a better middleweight all time than Izzy, who I think is pretty clearly the number 2 guy right now, historically in the weight class. And then it's still a lot of work to catch Anderson. 11 title defenses. It's just so many. I'm counting 11. Travis Luter's a title defense. Deal with it. And so like that's a lot to get to. But if he, beats Chimaev and then goes out here and gets RDR and Fluffy and Imavov or Bahayo, like that's an unbelievable run. And more to the point, I think that sort of run, like this fight tomorrow is going to be a fight that sets him up to be one of the biggest stars in the promotion, right? Like he'll have multiple title defenses. He will have beaten Israel Adesanya, a former champion, a guy who's very popular, and he'll beat Khamzat Chimaev, a guy who's very popular. And so like that's how you become a star, and he'll have to keep winning, but he's got all the raw tools to do it, to be the face of this company. He is exciting in the cage. He is good on the mic. He is a traditionally handsome man. Like you could put that dude on billboards hawking, liqueurs or whatever, and people would go. So he can absolutely turn into something major for them. And this is the fight. It's one of the many reasons I am so fascinated in this fight. Outside of the X's and O's is just all the different branches that come from Saturday night's main event, AK. Let's turn the question to the other side of the ball, though, because you've already talked a lot about Khamzat Chimaev, like finally getting here, all of that. What's your big question for when the cage door closes and Khamzat Chimaev is in there? Like what is the single thing you want to know the most, either that you think you'll learn or that you think is like will predicate how Chimaev does, whether he is victorious or not?
I really want to know, and I really want to believe if Khamzat is just gonna do what he always does, because that's what he should do, right? I think we all want to see Khamzat. He's a bulldozer. He's gonna go in. He's gonna try and win the fight in the first or second round. But this is, again, like I said, maybe a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I have to wonder if his team is doing things differently. I mean, even him coming, like the way that, he was the first fighter to weigh in, Jed, and came in 2 pounds under the championship limit. Like that was impressive. That was some kind of statement. That was some kind of
it does seem
showing.
Like it might have been a statement.
Some kind of showing of like, okay, things were different this time around. Now, does that mean even in the cage things were different? Is there a thought in their mind of like, okay, look, we know what our guy can do. No one can stop this guy when he's at his best. We think he's at his best. He's going to put this guy away in the first or second round. But is there do they have to be responsible? Do they have to say, we know that that's what we want. We know that's what you can do and really believe it. But we want to keep a little bit more in the gas tank than usual in case this goes 5 rounds. So that is what I am curious to see. His team and his people who have trained with him have all been saying the right things in interviews, saying, "Hey, he's ready to go 5 rounds." He is not like they understand the narrative of Khamzat's a first, second round finisher, but they're saying if it goes to championship rounds, he's more than prepared. He's going to beat DDP at his own game. But again, these are all the things that they're supposed to say. Doesn't make sense for him to try and do that. Does he? If I may steal a phrase from the film Gattaca, does he leave anything for the swim back, Jed? Does he leave anything for the swim back, or is it just I'm going all in? This is how I fight. This is burn the boats. This is what got me here. I am not going to change. But and we'll know. And this is the beauty of it is we'll know in the first 90 seconds. We'll know in the first 90 seconds whether he's leaving anything in the tank. And if he doesn't, if he's a little more tentative than usual, suddenly that changes our whole viewing perspective. Now where we look at the first 2 rounds and it's as like, oh, this is weird. Is something wrong with him? Should he be doing this? If he loses those rounds, we'll be like, oh, was this a huge mistake? He's down 2 on the scorecards. But then we'll look at rounds 3, 4, and 5 and be like, oh my gosh, is Khamzat ready to explode at any moment? So the first 90 seconds are going to tell us so much, and that's kind of a fun way to look at it. And the fight might only last 90 seconds, so it's kind of funny.
Yeah, I think you just are who you are. Leopard don't change its spots. I think when the bullets are flying, he's gonna do Khamzat Chimaev things. He's gonna come out and throw everything he has right from the jump. I will say that one of the narratives of this fight that has given me some pause, right, heading into it, is the idea that DDP wins late. because I understand it, and I even sort of agree that he will win the fight late if it goes there. But it has been positioned by a lot of people as if Khamzat Chimaev is, I'm like, who's that dude who can fight, who's a model and can fight for 6 minutes? Why can't I think of his name?
Luke Rockhold,
No, what
Ruban,
Luke Rockhold could
Dulatov,
fight for a
Dulatov,
little more.
Dulatov,
No,
Dulatov.
but also no. I'll think of it later. Mr. Sweet or Mr. Finland, whatever the hell his name is.
Oh,
I mean Markwani.
yeah,
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 Markwani. But like
yeah.
he's not that. Like you watch the Usman and the Burns fight, he absolutely slows down and he doesn't fight as well anymore because he's not, full gas. But he is still very game late. Like his body doesn't shut down and just be like, actually, I'm done. I didn't kill this guy in 2 minutes. And so I think he'll still be game as this fight goes along. But I mean, I'm fascinated by just about everything that is happening in this fight on Saturday. The thing I want to know the most, I mean, the thing I want is DDP to win. I'm an unabashed DDP stan and have been since day one. But what I want to know coming in or leaving this fight, if Khamzat Chimaev wins this fight, or even if he loses, I want to know what his second pitch is. I want to know what his off-speed game looks like, what his plan B is. Because for almost his entire UFC career, it's been plan A. Like half the dudes he's fought have literally not even landed a strike against him because he just tackles them and kills them. And that works right up until the moment it doesn't. And AK, that's why I'm so excited about this fight because I think we're going to see it. If Chimaev has more to offer than just being a force of nature, I think DDP is the man who can bring that out of him because he is so tactically proficient, because he himself is like a physical hoss. And I think that we're in for something really, really special on Saturday right from the jump. I have likened this fight, and I think it's some of my better work, that this is the Animal Planet. When you see them doing the documentary, and it's like, here are two gigantic walruses fighting over a piece of land in the North Atlantic or North Pacific, and there's just teeth gnashing and bodies colliding. That's what this fight is going to be. And it's going to be freaking awesome, AK. I could not be more excited about Saturday night. And on that note, AK, let's get to the predictions. How do you see the main event going down Saturday? Who do you think is going to leave with the belt? Will it be Ann Stiller and New come Saturday night?
Hamzat all the way. It's Chimcago, baby. It's Chimcago this week. You saw the fans. I
They
am
are
just
out in force for him.
they are. And if I saw the fake beards, I thought that was great. I just, man, when this guy is on, I just think he is the best fighter in the world. I know people will point to the Kamaru Usman fight, they'll point to the Gilbert Burns fight, like, oh, how could you not finish these guys? I mean, that version of Gilbert Burns he fought was one of the best Gilberts I've ever seen. That fight was so awesome. And I've always said that raised Khamzat in my estimation, not put him back. A lot of people, again, will say, oh, how could he not finish him? I'm like, yo, he had to reach down deep to win that fight. It was close. It was a close fight, don't get me wrong. But that is one, Jed, to your point, like he doesn't just turn to like a Toy Story doll when Andy walks in the room when the third round bell hits. No, he can compete. It gets sloppy. I mean, he's not like the machine that he is in round 1 and 2, but he clearly can compete.
His technique goes out the window, but he's still trying.
His Kamaru fight was such a weird one, but people forget like the first round was how impressive that was, like him handling Kamaru on the ground. We were all like, holy crap, we had never seen that happen to Kamaru before. And then yes, that fight, did he gas a bit in that one? For sure. But also Kamaru is one of the 25 best fighters who's ever lived, and it's not like this was a washed Kamaru. Like that was a really good version of Kamaru. So if you want to hold the Usman and Burns fights against him, I understand. Like I said, they were very competitive. He didn't dominate those fights, but he showed a lot of the flashes of what made him great in those fights. And I think you have to do that. I think you have to get over those humps. You have to show that you can win those fights when you're not necessarily at your best or when your opponent is bringing their best. That impresses me. So, I'm looking through the stuff with rose-colored glasses maybe, but I've always liked that about Chimaev. I don't think he'll have to go the distance in this one, though. I am predicting Chimaev TKO, like kind of hurts du Plessis and finishes on the ground with strikes. I'll go round two. I think we're going to get some chaos in round 1, but I think Khamzat's finishing power is too much. I think he's come too far. I think this is the way it goes. And Jed, as you give your prediction, I also want to ask: do we then get, if my prediction is correct, do we then get the rematch as soon as possible?
If your prediction is correct, I don't think we're getting the rematch. I
Hmm.
don't know what we're getting, frankly. I think it's wide open. It could be a lot of things, and it may just be first come, first serve. Whoever is open for the date they want. Chimaev is talking that he wants to compete at Abu Dhabi. I don't know how realistic that is, but like if that's real, then it's probably RDR because RDR will fight tomorrow. Like he don't care. So if Chimaev does win, I don't think we're getting an immediate rematch unless you're wrong and it's not like an early finish. It's Chimaev in a back and forth battle, a fight of the year contender. Then okay, but there's just too many other things happening at middleweight. I think they'll throw DDP back into the mix, have him fight one dude, and then maybe we run it back if he gets a finish. I also think you're just stone wrong because there's no surprises here. I've been picking Dricus du Plessis basically since he made his UFC debut, and I'll continue to pick him until he retires. Is probably going to be my path forward with the man. I have also talked myself into, and I can't. Here's the problem, AK. I can't figure out what part of this is homerism and what part of this is logical analysis. The lines in my own brain are blurred too heavily, so I just simply do not know what is me being rational and what's me being irrational right now. But I've talked myself into not only does DDP win, he wins in style. He doesn't survive the first round. He is competitive in the first round and then just takes over the fight and gets a finish in the fourth round, something like that, as he continues to get strong. There are a lot of reasons I think this outside of my blind homerism. The biggest one, though, is I think Dricus du Plessis is probably the smartest active fighter as far as making boutique or bespoke game plans for opponents, coming with ideas. He is really good specifically on how to neutralize opponents' best offense. And so I think he will come here with a lot of clear plans to be like, hey, here's what Chimaev wants to do. Let's take away his game plan. Let's make him fight left-handed, so to speak. And when we have seen Chimaev sort of struggle in those instances, that has been when he has looked very vulnerable because ultimately Chimaev doesn't have that many ideas because his ideas that are so strong, they work so well for him that the few times we've seen them not, he's run out of things to do, specifically Kamaru Usman. He's like, I'm going to keep doing the same things and it's enough to get it done, but it's not enough to thrive. Du Plessis is a guy who has a lot of ideas, probably too many ideas at times, right? But I think sort of all of that, as long as Chimaev doesn't physically just overwhelm him. And I just don't see that happening because DDP himself is a hoss. And I think that is kind of the guiding principle for me in this fight is these are two, alphas hitting each other. And I would say Chimaev is the more physical of the two, but I just don't think he's going to stone ragdoll him in the ways that he's done to some other people. And that might be pretty tough for Chimaev when his physicality is no longer an overwhelming force. I have a lot of questions about what he can bring to bear. And then, yes, the cardio, the way Chimaev fights, I just don't think his cardio can hold up. Not that his cardio is bad. But I was listening to Morning Combat's preview, and they had Matt Frivola on, AK. And Frivola said something that we hear a lot and is very true. Everybody gets tired. Having good cardio is the ability to not care that you're tired or to work through it. But every fighter is tired. Chimaev is tired. DDP gets tired, but he is not Merab in that Merab's heart rate never clears 50 beats per minute or whatever. DDP gets tired, he just doesn't care. He says, "Fine, I'm tired, I'll keep going." Whereas we've seen Chimaev get tired and slow. And so I think all of that, I'm predicting a really big night for my boy Dricus du Plessis. And if I'm wrong, congratulations, Khamzat Chimaev. He finally did it, and that will be something really, really spectacular to see. So It's going to be a
Jed,
kick-ass AK.
how excited are you to put that number one next to his name when we do the pound for pound
Can't wait.
rankings
God, I
this
hope
week?
it
You
happens.
currently have him number 4. You are respecting the lighter weights of Pantoja, Topuria, and Makachev, but I can see
It's happening 100% if
your
he
eyes
wins.
twitching that if he beats Khamzat, he will be the number one fighter in your list.
Unless he like wins a bad splitty or something,
Yeah, yeah.
he's going to the top. Certainly if he finishes him, he's going to the top. Because like it's just an insane run that he's on right now. It is. I know people like to dunk on Sean Strickland as not being good. Sean Strickland's a fucking champion, man. Like he just is. And I thought he won the first fight. It was very close. I'm not here to say like if you scored it for Strickland, totally fine to do that. But I thought he won the first Strickland fight. And then he whomped on Strickland in the second fight. That was 50-45. That fight wasn't competitive, realistically. Israel Adesanya, probably not in his prime anymore, certainly, but like wailed on Izzy. Rob Whitaker, again, not in his prime, wailed on Robert Whitaker. Like it's an unreal run that he is on right now. And I will give him his flowers if he can beat the actual boogeyman on Saturday. So can't wait. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But either way, it's gonna be. I don't see a way the main event isn't. Maybe it's not like an all-time fight because maybe Khamzat just chokes him out quickly. But if that happens, it's still just like it's wild if that like to think of all the things that spiral off that. So it's gonna be awesome. Cannot wait for Saturday. AK, you also should be on Team DDP as he is on your fantasy team. Big weekend for you. Got 3 fantasy players in play. Let's talk about another one of them, though, in the co-main event. And I'm comfortable calling this a co-main event, certainly, even though it does feel like a really big drop-off from the main event. That's just because the main event is so good. This co-main event fight is still good itself. Aaron Pico makes his UFC debut. He takes on Lerone Murphy. A 3-rounder, right? This is not 5-rounders. There was like the Mobsar stuff. Everything got a little
Right.
wonky, but Aaron Pico making his UFC debut. Let's keep it a little more simple for this one. What's your vibes on this fight, and what is your big question that's at the center of this matchup?
It's so terrible. I cannot stop thinking about the other Bellator, how like the other Bellator stars have done, and it shouldn't matter. It shouldn't matter. This fight is independent from the Patchy Mix debut. This is independent from the Patricio Pitbull debut. Michael Chandler, however you want to think about how his run has been in the UFC. Aaron Pico's his own man. He's at a very different stage of his career than some of those other guys were. He's younger. He's not a champion. He doesn't enter with this pressure of like, oh, he was the champion in Bellator. Though, if you look at the odds, they're kind of treating him like he's a champion coming over from Bellator, which is a bit crazy when his best win is like Pedro Carvalho. But like this is an important win, not just for him personally. Obviously, important for Aaron Pico, but like for what I feel like is going to be an upcoming wave of fighters coming in from notable promotions and actually like making a serious impact. I think, we've had, again, it's come and gone. Of course, we remember when Strikeforce, when they implemented Strikeforce, that was a huge talent influx. It produced several future world champions. And then, some other promotions got hot for a while. Like you bring in they start bringing people from Cage Warriors and, Connor was the big example from there. And then other guys kind of didn't live up to that hype. You've had a smattering of people coming from KSW, which again, I kind of bring up now because we've got Jacob, I'm going to mess up his name, but Vauclause from KSW, and he's going to be fighting Patchy Mix, the aforementioned Patchy Mix. So I feel like it's important for Pico to do well here because I think if he slips on a banana peel, this thought that the UFC is like the only game in town is only going to grow bigger. And it's not all on him. Like I said, I think he's just another domino to fall in what we have seen from these guys who like made quite a bit of drama getting free from the PFL and hasn't been the most impressive so far in the UFC. So yeah, I'm wondering what the narrative will be if Pico falls flat. Even if he wins a competitive decision, I wonder if people are still going to be like, well, we told you these Bellator guys weren't worth the trouble. Because again, I don't think that's the case. Like I think Patchy actually has a good, like I know people looking at it as an upset. I like his chances next fight. Pitbull, at least got a win. He at least managed to get back in the win column. Like, not a barn burner, but I thought a fine performance by Patricio Pitbull. And we'll see where Pico lands in all that. Imagine if he knocks out Lerone Murphy. I mean, what a shakeup that'll be in the division. And boy, what a weird twist that'll be in the Aaron Pico story, which has already had several in Bellator alone, and more to come now, I guess, as his UFC career begins.
Yeah, he's had a really, really strange career. I mean, one of, if not the most hyped prospects to ever enter the sport, and loses his first fight, then looks like a future champion world beater, then loses a pair, and it's sort of like then never fights a good fighter again, like forever. It was just like such a weird thing that they did with him. I will blame it on Leandro Ego. Him beating Leandro Ego was like, oh, we should just throw him right into the thick of things, and like obviously they shouldn't have done that. And then now it's just been a very strange thing. Lerone Murphy, the best guy he's ever fought, right? I think that's to me feels pretty clear, and that's my big question is like, how good is Aaron Pico? Because I think he's good. I think he's really good. I think he's a future champion level of good. But that is almost entirely speculative. There is not a lot of proof in the particular pudding here to say that. And I make no bones about it. I don't care for Lerone Murphy. I do not find him to be exciting. Intentionally, his style is just undeniably effective, deeply uninteresting to me. And I think that could be a huge problem for Aaron Pico. He is really good at setting the range and not being there to be hit. Aaron Pico wants to wrestle and he wants to, throw that left hook. And Murphy's really good at not getting hit by punches, gives up a lot of takedowns, but doesn't stay down. He pops a lot of people have taken him down a bunch, and he's won all those fights because he pops right back up. And so this could be a tough one for him. And along those lines, AK, frankly, pretty surprised here. Aaron Pico is your betting favorite currently, which I straight up just did not anticipate. He comes in at minus 176 via our friends at FanDuel, plus 142 on Lerone Murphy. I am not going to bet Lerone Murphy. I already have a bet on Aaron Pico because I don't like Lerone Murphy, but I feel like that's probably not right. Like those odds feel wrong to me, AK.
The undefeated in the UFC middleweight champion is an underdog on this card, and a top 8 ranked featherweight is an underdog on this card. It is some funny stuff, man. Hype is a wonderful thing, isn't it? And I'm glad people believe in Pico. Again, even I think the most casual, like UFC only fan has heard of him, and yes, is aware of the story of him being this mega hype prospect. No amateur bouts; they just threw him right into the fire. Did not go so well in his first fight. And that's okay. Like I remember at the time there was certainly a bit of like, oh, he was exposed. I don't think we were saying that as much back then, but I do think I do remember him, of course, him taking a hit. But he also the guy has always had a level head. The person he is now is more refined, more mature, certainly more comfortable in front of the microphone. But if you go back and watch the interviews when he was 20, 21 years old, whenever he made his debut, he wasn't all that different. He was probably a bit quieter, probably a bit more succinct. Now he knows how to play the game a little bit more, but the maturity has always been there. And I think as much as his physical gifts, as much as his sort of his expansive skill set has impressed us, I think it's really the maturity in the head and his shoulders that has always stood out. And it may be one reason why they're thinking, yes, this is his UFC debut. Yes, he has not fought any featherweight recently that you would put in the top 35, I think, of the featherweight rankings. My apologies to Pico's recent opposition. But yeah, and now he's facing, like I said, a no doubt top 10 guy in the world. He has always passed the eye test. If you just look at Aaron Pico fight, again, he's maybe he's beating up slightly lower level competition. But if you study the tape, you really see a guy who looks like, on the right day, looks like a world champion. But we have said this about many fighters before they've come to the UFC. We've said about many fighters when they have a good start to the UFC, guys who start off 2-0, 3-0, and we just, one virtuoso performance, and we're like, oh, this guy's gonna be a champion. This guy's never gonna lose again. Wow, that Cody Garbrandt, what he did to Dominic Cruz, he's gonna be a bantamweight. He's the new face of the bantamweight division. We've seen great performances under the right circumstances, possibly color our expectations for a fighter. I don't think that's what's happening with Pico. I think we are all making a really good, educated guess on his potential. But I don't think a single soul would be surprised if Lerone Murphy finds a way to win a 30-27 decision.
Yeah, I hope he doesn't, just straight up. Unless he's going to be fun. But like he really is on that sort of Leon Murphy or not Leon Murphy. He's on that Leon Edwards. Like
Yes,
he's
similar.
probably going to have to win 12 fights in a row because his style is unappealing. But he might just do it because he's very, very good at it. I think this is a really fun matchup. AK, last thing on this fight before we get to the prediction. There's been rumblings, been rumors. I've heard talk from some people that this is an under the table title eliminator for Alexander Volkanovski. Do you think that's true? Do you think that's true one way? AKA if Aaron Pico wins, it's true, but if Murphy wins, not necessarily. How do you think the winner of this is like, are they fighting Volk by the end of the year, I guess?
Purely circumstantial. It has to be Aaron Pico knocks the stuffing out of Lerone Murphy, first round finish, highlight reel knockout, calls for the shot. Sure, he can get it. Very realistic possibility. Lerone Murphy, like, hey, finishes Pico, submits him or something. Like him, I was saying on the weighing show, him actually winning a decision over Pico would be like impressive just for the fact that Pico has never lost a decision. But I don't think the matchmakers care about that. They want to see finishes. So if Lerone Murphy was able to just like either he scores a knockout or he surprises Pico, catches him with submission, that'd be a real statement. But it's really hard for me to say that either guy can do anything to stamp themselves as the de facto number one contender. But yeah, I think an impressive finish puts them close to the front of the line because it's not Movsar. They do not give two craps about Movsar. So that's not leapfrogging him is not a challenge really. You need to get a highlight going. So yeah, I'm leaning more towards Pico because I think you're right. I just don't know how much they like Lerone, especially if he just puts together another solid 15-minute decision win. That's just not going to tickle their fancies. So, but Pico, big KO. Hey, Michael Chandler, he got. Did he get the title shot off the Hooker win?
Yeah, vacant title fight.
There you go. I'm just saying, it's all it takes, guys. It's all it
any
takes.
any finish from either side, I think, is absolutely getting it. The one caveat there being, if John Silva like dusts up Diego Lopez, then he's probably getting it. For a long time, I thought this was just if Pico wins, he's getting a title fight. I still think if Pico wins, he is probably first in line to get the title fight because Volk's already said his name. He is young. He wears suits. He is well spoken. The UFC can get behind him in a major way. I think that they would bend over to get this kid into the cage with a chance to hold the belt. So if he wins it all, I'm hearing some stuff that maybe Murphy just is. He might. They just don't want to give it to Movsar, and Movsar maybe is injured as well. So like, I don't know. Very possible that the winner of the co-main Saturday is fighting Alexander Volkanovski next. So certainly something to keep your eye on. AK, let's get into it very quickly. Who's the pick? Why are you doing it?
Oh gosh, I'm in the middle of writing my predictions as we speak, guys. So I don't know if I've made a decision on this one yet. But let's roll with. Let's go with Pico KO, man. It's just a fun thing to say. It's a fun thing to say. It's hard to imagine. Lerone Murphy's got really good defense, pretty solid chin. And again, it's just a really big step up from several of the names. Like I wasn't even gonna say Henry Krause and Pedro Carvalho. I was gonna try and name someone else that Pico's fought in the last like
There
3 or
aren't
4
many.
years. I was struggling. Justin Gonzalez. That's a guy he beat up, right? That's
His
a guy,
name
right?
is James Gonzalez, not Justin. But
Shit.
no, he also fought a guy named Justin Gonzalez. Sorry.
Thank you.
I didn't know that, but okay.
One of them is with a Z. One of them is with an S. It's very confusing. And don't ask me which one Justin.
No, they're. Oh yes, the last is a Z and an S. Yeah,
I could not tell you. So yes, that is worrisome. All of that is worrisome. But again, as one of those people who has kept a pretty close eye on Pico throughout his career and been a bit of a doubter, I'll be honest with you, I've been a bit of a doubter. If people could see our sort of our featherweight rankings over the past couple of years, I have been very reluctant to put Pico in there. I think I actually still don't at a glance. I think I actually don't rank Pico. I do not have Pico in my top 15. So I don't know. Controversial. People might think I'm crazy, but I know he is certainly registered with some voters. Now we get to find out. Now we get to find out. No more theory. No more. Oh well, if he does this, if he did this, if he did this, if you compare this guy to this guy, compare this guy to this guy, it don't matter anymore, man. Now he's just compared to one guy, Lerone Murphy, and if he wins that comparison, you're talking about top 10 featherweight here in Pico.
Yeah,
maybe number one contender. Maybe number one contender.
Here's the thing, AK. He doesn't. I know Lerone has a good chin. Doesn't have to get the chin. Pico's got a nasty body shot. That's where I'm going. Aaron Pico body shot KO second round. I'm trying to will that outcome into existence. It seems quite fun to me. AK, we're going to play a game for the remainder of this fight card because we have a whole bunch of other fights that are happening. Most of them, both fighters even have Wikipedia pages. And so the game we are going to play is called Let's Draft Your Favorite Fights that are remaining on the card. We've spoken about the main and co-main. We are going to very quickly you take a fight, I take a fight. We're going to draft 3 fights each just to talk about all the fights that we want to talk about. And because while I was playing golf this morning, in honor of the 3-foot rat snake I saw out there, we're going to do it snake fashion. So AK, you will go first. I will then pick 2 fights. Then you will pick. So take your first fight. Tell us a little bit about why you're interested in it.
Damn, man. I'll tell you, like, it would have been King Green versus Diego Ferreira if that fight was still on here. I love that matchup. I just feel like that fight should happen so long ago, and I hope we still get it. I believe it's supposed to be rescheduled, so I hope we still get that one. Love seeing those kind of lifers, lightweight lifers just go at it, and that was going to be a fun fight, man. That was going to be such a fun fight. I cannot pick it. Of course, I cannot pick it. King Green, unfortunately injured. So let's go with something obvious. I really like the Jeff Neal Carlos Prates fight, so I'll go to obvious for my top pick for this particular draft. Jeff Neal, Carlos Prates, fun stand-up battle. I'm a believer in Carlos Prates as a welterweight contender. You got to go to the Jeff Neals of the world to do that. Jeff has played spoiler on more than one occasion. And he has a potential to do that on Saturday. So yeah, very obvious pick. Third fight from the bottom. Third from the top. Excuse me. But I dig it.
I mean, that's the obvious choice, but it was absolutely the first one I was taking if you didn't take it. So I think that fight is a heater. Jeff Neal he's just been in a shit ton of he is scrappy as hell. I think Carlos Prates I think he's going to win, but I think that fight might be a lot more tough than people think, and it's going to be a damn good one. Outside of the main event, that would be the fight I'd be like, keep your eyes open for possible fight of the night. With my first selection, I'm going to just stay true to who I am as a person, and I'm going to take Gerald Meerschaert, Mikhail Oleksiejczuk, because it's a very silly fight, and it's going to be a silly fight, right? Like, Oleksiejczuk's going to come out, he's going to try and kill Meerschaert immediately. He might kill him and then fall into his guard and get tapped. Meerschaert's probably going to be losing this fight until maybe he wins it. Somebody's going to get knocked out. It's just going to be violent and a bit wacky. And you know I love wacky violence. It's why I'm a big DDP guy. And for my second fight, AK, going to take the now prelim main event, the lead-in fight to the main card by Sangir Sursakayev taking on Eric Nolan. Talk about a freaking story here, AK. This dude, I covered Contender Series on Tuesday night. By Sangir Sursakayev, healthy favorite coming into that matchup. Has like a little bit of struggle early, but they're putting him over. They're saying, hey, man, this guy, he trains at Killcliff. All the Killcliff guys are saying that he's unbelievable. He trained with Khamzat. Khamzat saying he's unbelievable. And then he folds up the dude he fought, Murtaza Talha. Front kick, like a teep kick to the body, just folds this man up. So much so that, like, if his name was John Brown or like Mike Williams, some like generic name that it would be easy for Dana White to say, he would have gotten the full B. Joe Pyfer speech. Dana, at Contender Series, Dana, literally as he was leaving the cage, comes up to him and is like, you just saved my Tuesday night, because the 2 fights before were like, not great. They weren't terrible, but they were kind of snoozery. It's like, you saved my Tuesday night. He put him over in the like contract announcements. He waited till last to do him, to be like, this guy's incredible. That's how you make a statement. But then he called him like Jimmy, because he's like, I can't say this fucking dude's name. So he just like started calling him Jimmy. and he would have got the full Joe Pyfer treatment. And you know that's true because of what's happened here, because they threw him on 319, 4-day turnaround. I didn't look this up because I'm certain it's true. This will be the quickest person to win 2 fights in the UFC in history, because Contender Series is UFC. It's in the freaking Apex. Isn't like you're wearing UFC branded shit. It's the UFC. No one's ever going to do that again because 4 fights don't happen like this. And AK prelim main event, and they threw these dudes up on the dais for the pre-fight presser. Like, they're getting behind this guy in a big way. And I got to tell you, I'm excited about it because Eric Nolan ain't no slouch either. This is going to be a fun one, man.
He's Jimmy now. I missed
Jimmy.
that bit. I did not know he dubbed
do
it
think
Jimmy.
it was Jimmy.
We'll have to
I
look
think
that
it
up.
was Jimmy that he said. I have to go back and watch it, but he like just named it. He's like, I can't say his name.
Yeah.
It's like,
his nickname is officially Hunter, but no, it's Jimmy now.
It should
All right,
1,000% be Jimmy.
It is by Senger Jimmy Susakaya. Oh, it's good. It's good. Yes, I love that. You know what, Dana? Sometimes you hit marketing gold and you don't realize that you just gave this guy a fantastic nickname. All right, wait, you got to do 2 picks. Oh, you did. Oh, you Gerald Mearshart.
I did. I Mearshart thing,
That's
and
right.
then we went to Jimmy.
Middleweights. God, middleweights, eh? Middleweights.
Love the middleweights.
Love the middleweights.
They're on display this week.
For the other, so now I got to do 2 picks.
You got 2.
Easy. Yeah, well, easy pick, and we're only doing 3, right? So I'm doing 2 picks. And I'm done.
These are your last 2. I know one of them for sure.
Whatever do you mean? Whatever do you mean? I was worried you would pick it. I should have taken it first. I got lucky here. First of all, Edson Barbosa, Dricus close. Man, love Edson. Like I said, love my old lightweights. Love my lightweight veterans. Coming back to the division for the first time in almost 6 years, I think 2019. It's where he belongs, man. And featherweight was fine. But he's a huge guy, and he's at the stage where I don't want him cutting down to 145 just for the vain hope of getting a title shot. Now maybe he's just in that situation where he's going to fight at whatever fights are available. Just keep cashing those checks, keep himself busy, keep having fun. The guy just seems to enjoy fighting, seems to enjoy kicking people. And if that's the case, more power to him.
You saw him. He looks unbelievable for being 39 years old. Good God.
He's in superb shape. So I'm happy to see him back on 155. And Dricus close. Again, one of those guys on 155. He was such an X factor. Just kind of, has never been able to get that key win that really puts him into legitimate top 10 talk. But he's had some good runs. He's a tough opposition. And I think Barbosa is going to really bring out the best in him. So I think we get a great fight there. And yes, Jed, my other pick is, of course, Alibi Idris versus Joseph Morales, the Ultimate Fighter finale. The flyweight. You don't need to tell me on Slack how you confused me with the at first the UGLY song, and I was like, "What?"
Damn right.
I was like, "Oh, because you're saying alibi." It's Alibi. Okay, he's from Kazakhstan. He is undefeated. Dan Cormier really took a shining to him on the Ultimate Fighter 33. He is I believe, like a 2-1 favorite. I think it's a little glossy because of that record, right? I mean, I know we all see someone who's never lost, and we think, how
he's minus 450 betting favorite. He's not 2-1.
That's a lot, buddy. That is a lot. Joseph Morales has been in the UFC, guys. He has a UFC win. He won a bonus once upon a time. He lost to Davison Figueiredo, got knocked out by Davison Figueiredo. No shame in that. And then went to Sissis again, and he went 1-2. Hit the regional scene. I think took some time off. Just didn't competed sporadically since leaving the UFC several years ago. But he looked great on the show. He looked like what he was, which is the most sort of experienced guy when it comes to high level competition. I think it's a big step up for Idris, and Idris is a great talent. Don't get me wrong. I think NYSA FC is like a very legitimate promotion. So in that sense, if you're looking at like where they've come from and who they fought recently, you really could make the argument that Idris is like right up there in terms of comparative level of competition. But I don't know. Maybe I'm just being biased towards North America. I'm leaning Joseph Morales. I just think these guys who have fought in the UFC before just always have an advantage. And I'm going to give him that edge. We saw that one season. It was a tough hang of where like at the Connor and Chandler season, I think, where it was veterans versus quote unquote rookies or guys who kind of get in the UFC, and the veterans like destroyed the rookies. It just
Just cooked them. It was incredibly funny.
Yeah, and I'm not calling it Dearest a rookie. Like I said, 10-0 and looks good. Fought for good promotions outside of the United States, but going Morales, going with the upset here. I think people are really overlooking him in his experience.
I guess I'll even throw a little bet on that then. Why not? That's a
Why
big
not?
price. So, and you're my tough guy. I trust you.
You should know. You should know. I shamefully, despite being the only person who still watches this show, I am horrible at picking winners on this show. I don't know if I'm.
Well, I know. Every time I ask you, you're always wrong. I'm like, well, okay. But one of these times you'll be right. And if the time you're going to be right is for a plus 400 underdog, hell yeah.
I get 2 shots a season, and somehow I'm going like 0 for 2, 0 for 2.
I think you're not doing great.
I'm on like a 1 in 10. I can't even remember the one I picked. It's probably like some really, really obvious, like no doubt this person was going to win. I don't know why. I cannot pick tough winners.
It's hard. It's a hard.
I'm too emotionally attached. That's the problem.
I just want to get this out there to the people, so it's beyond just our Slack in case it happens. Joseph Morales, if you're watching, I'm sure you are. Everybody is. You should come out to Celeste and Daphne's UGLY. It would make me the happiest boy. To start off the night with that, and then to end the night with DDP tapping Khamzat, man, I'd have myself one hell of a Saturday. So something to keep in mind, Joseph. Just think that through. I have my last draft pick, and I'm glad. I thought that, honestly, is probably exactly how I would have said it was going to shake out. And interestingly enough, not going with either of the main card fights that are untaken here. Somewhat interesting, right? But if the fans want us to talk about it, we're about to get to the Q&A in just a second. You guys can ask questions. I'm going Chase Hooper, Alexander Hernandez. I think Chase Hooper has had a fantastically interesting career. He has looked dynamite since moving up to lightweight, but at the same time, and I talked about this on No Bets Barred this week, it's not smoke and mirrors so much as it's like carefully crafted career, right? Like the triple C's there of he's moved up to lightweight, and then he fought Nick Fiore, who I couldn't pick out of a crowd of 2 at this point in time. Jordan Levitt, that's a pretty winnable fight, you would say in general. Slava Claus, who can't grapple, so that fight went literally exactly how you would anticipate it to go for the most part. Though, if memory serves, he had some success striking with Slava Claus as well. Clay Guida, an old man who he had already beaten in a grappling match. And then Jim Miller, a legend, but also an old man. So this is like, Alexander Hernandez is not a world beater, but he is in the relative like prime of his career, has a physicality to him that we haven't really seen Chase Hooper have to deal with at lightweight, and just like has a real game to him. Like there's not like huge obvious weaknesses to approach in the way that like, I'm going to fight these old guys, and that should be a good advantage for me. So genuinely just interested to see how Chase Hooper looks if this sort of rise at lightweight continues, because the division is in a sense like a bit of changeover. He is obviously popular. It wouldn't take a lot to get him to move up the rankings quickly. And I think this is a really good litmus test to see, okay, if he blows through Alexander Hernandez, who's probably like a top 40-ish lightweight, all right, maybe we can really test the waters and find out what we have with Chase Hooper as an actual contender and not as this novelty 18-year-old child act. So very much one of the fights I'm looking forward to. He's also a fairly big betting favorite. Let's see if that line's moved any. Minus 325 to come back on Hernandez, plus 250. So very interesting. AK, one last piece of business before we get to the fans. Do it every time I host very quickly. Bonuses. There are going to be 4 of them given out Saturday night, most likely. It should be a fight of the night and 2 performances. But if you feel like there might be 2 fight of the nights, if you feel like maybe it's a 4 bonus night, who's leaving Saturday with the bonuses?
Khamzat, Pico, Jimmy.
Nice. Jimmy's good. Yeah.
I think Paraches. So pretty obvious. Top 3 fights. Top 3 fights in Jimmy. No fight of the night. No fight of the night.
I'm going fight of the night's main event. I think it's going to be a banger, and I think DDP is going to get a performance. I think it's going to be a hell of a fight, and then he's going to finish it. So double action for Dricus du Plessis. And then I will, just because they've strapped the freaking rockets to this dude, man. I think Jimmy's getting it as well. And Eric Nolan's tough out, but they seem to really be like, okay, we got another crack to do a Khamzat thing with this guy. Let's do it. And I don't think he's Khamzat, but they're giving him a window. They're going to try and make it happen. So, Casey, why don't you hop on in here, and everybody who's at home, we're not that far off from the fan Q&A that the UFC will do, and then the ceremonial weigh-ins, the last piece of business before we get to it. So we won't go for too long, but you know the deal. We're going to answer some questions, get them on in there. While that happens, Casey, big thoughts on UFC 319? What's your level of excitement for tomorrow? All that good stuff.
I like the card, top to bottom. I don't think it's a good pay-per-view card, necessarily $80 as far as a casual, but us weirdos who know all the fights, I think I love this card from top to bottom. Main event's freaking, just amazing. And Aaron Pico's making his debut, and I'm kind of not. I like Lerone Murphy. I don't think he's as boring as everyone thinks he is. I enjoyed the Emmett fight. I think he's just a very tactical fighter. I enjoy that, and I like this fight better than the Mosvar fight. It just makes more sense. And the rest of the fight's just a lot of bangers on the card. And my low-key banger, because no one talked about it, because I'm pretty predictable, I'm going Jessica Andrade and Loopy, because I think Jessica Andrade at strawweight is just a different fightor. Flyweight, hit or miss. Strawweight,
she's got that
always
Kevin
good.
Holland to her.
Yeah, essentially.
Yes.
Correct.
But I mean, she is this fight. Let me confirm this. I think this will be her 30th fight, if memory serves, in the promotion, which is yes.
Raj.
So yes, this will be her 30th fight. She already has the record for most bouts for a woman. I think there are only like 10 dudes in front of her. Like after Saturday, that she has, got that Kevin Holland across 3 weight classes.
3 weight classes too.
Woman's out here fighting. So that fight could be fun. I'm interested because she is very different at strawweight, but Lerone Murphy's not going to be fun. If you're going to be tactical, be a big dumb bozo like Dricus du Plessis.
Hey, Lerone Murphy has a fight of the night. There's
a
fight of the night there. There's a fight of the night.
If you're going to be tactical, I want tactical bozos, not tactical smart people or whatever.
How many fight of nights does Dricus have?
I think 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, against Strickland the first time. And
1, 2, 2 and 2 performances. So 2.
Actually, I'm kind of surprised. I would think that Dricus had more performance bonuses. It's kind of for as exciting as this fight.
Again, people hate him because they don't understand him.
Oh, is that what it is?
You always fear what you don't understand. I went back and rewatched the Izzy Robert Whittaker conversation about him, and it made me smile so much. Izzy's literal quote is, "He's the best shit fighter in the world." And Robert Whittaker's like, and then they literally dap each other up. And Whittaker's like, "Yeah, man, I was in there. I was like, he's so slow." And then I got punched in the face. I was like, yes. It's the best. It's my favorite. What were you saying, Casey?
I forgot. Oh, actually, 2 questions before I go to the questions, the fan questions. Pico Murphy. Pico is the betting favorite, but this is something I've never really seen before in typology when it's just straight picks. 70% of the fans are picking Murphy to win, even if Pico has the betting favorite. So I've never actually seen that before.
That's really rare.
So what do you think that means? I don't know. Are betting lines and just pick them when you just pick straight up, and betting lines just so different? Because usually
they can be, but there's usually overlap.
Yeah. In this case, there's a huge gap between the casual fan and the very, very educated typology fan. I think again, I like I said, I think your casual fan has been fed a pretty good stream of Aaron Pico hype. Even if they haven't watched a single Bellator event in their lives.
How would the casual fan even get that hype? I'm just.
Well, they click on the same articles and stuff that we do, and then they hear, Alexander Volkanovski.
A lot of freestyle wrestling fans in the world, and they've been holding a candle for 2016 Olympic trial runner-up.
the Instagram algorithm sends them Aaron Pico knockouts, and then suddenly like, oh, they're like, oh
Actually,
wow,
let's
like
check that out right now.
I gotta get in, I got it on the inside track of this thing. This Pico kid looks pretty good, and Lauren Murphy's really boring. Lauren Murphy never finishes anyone. This guy finishes everybody. Surely he must be better than Lauren Murphy. So it's a perfect storm of like a really hyped younger guy. I don't say he's young. He is younger than LeBron. No, he's not old. But anyway, a really hyped guy coming to the UFC for the first time.
Because like he's basically right at his athletic prime. He's in his, I think he's 28 now.
He is.
He's been doing this for a while.
He just
now,
started.
Now now it's just the level of competition is matching.
But yes, plus he's got he's got the hyped up debut. He's got the knockout power. People really don't like Lerone. I mean, people are very happy to bet against Lerone.
Pico apparently has like almost 300,000 Instagram followers. Murphy has 77.
That's a big difference.
Frankly, that's a huge difference. I would have anticipated him having more. I don't know that I would have thought Aaron Pico had that many, but
I mean, considering they're all just him and his horse. It's not like
there's him and his horses.
Great content.
There's probably like a bunch of shirtless ones of him, and he's a well-built young man. Yeah. So
maybe I'm a Pico stan because I have ridden Pico's horse. I have been to his little ranch. Yeah. So I mean
216. So I oversold it. It's 216,000, but that's still like kind of a lot.
Yeah, but not bad for a guy
dude who's never fought in the UFC or held a belt. That's kind of a lot.
But yeah, fun card. Looking forward to it. So to the questions.
I
got a lot of super chats. Here we go. Rick
All
Wynn.
right. Rick Wynn, where's Goozy, Imheck? Sorry to hear you got 1 year for popping Tristanolone. Hopefully it doesn't affect his media duties. He didn't just pop Tristanolone, he popped the whole kitchen, apparently. There were like 7 different metabolites in that announcement. I wrote it up and then had to like rewrite them and figure them out. It was pretty tough. I will say, just to make sure we're doing our due diligence, per the report from the UFC, apparently, so he failed 3 separate tests. He popped in all of them, both a pre-fight test, his fight week test, or his fight day test, I guess, and then a post-fight test in July, all for the same stuff. Per the report, the metabolite, the concentration was so low that they believe he took it before he signed with the UFC, because remember, he stepped in as a short notice opponent. Right. So he apparently fully cooperated with the investigation. That's why he only got a year on the sussy, was because he fully cooperated. And basically, as it read, was he took this before he was even with the UFC. So, and then the real problem is he didn't declare what he took in the not USADA or whatever, it's CSAD screening, when you're like, hey, have you been taking this stuff? And he should have declared and did not. And so that's why he only got a year. We haven't confirmed it, or at least not that I've seen. I saw a report that he was released from the promotion. I don't know if that's true or not, though. So just putting all the facts out there as I have them.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Meshew. And thank you for the super chat, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
Next super chat is from Dave.
Oh, but also the actual answer to that question is Mike is at PFL Charlotte right now. So he is a boots on the ground covering the event, his first PFL event in person. So MMAfighting.com this evening for, I don't remember what they're doing, what the tourney finals are tonight, but he's got that covered. So that's where Mike is.
Lightweight, bantamweight, flyweight. Gadzi Rabadanov, man.
Gadzi and Jenna Bishop versus Liz, which is actually a good fight.
And Marceli Alves versus Justin Wetzel, guys, in the 135 final. Come on.
All right.
I literally could have never told you that.
Super chat from Dave. This one's kind of I'll put it up there.
Put it up.
Dave Chimaev, friend of warlord Ramzan Kadyrov, calls himself a terrorist, and everyone finds it funny. MMA fans are lost.
Yes, for context, can I contextualize? You saw this?
You absolutely give the context.
Okay. Yeah. So he was having a whatever.
I saw it, but yeah, give the context.
Daniel Cormier was doing one of those, kind of very light and breezy backstage. I think this was Tuesday. The Tuesday they had like the fighter, what's it called? Like it's not a media day, but it's like they do stand-up interviews. Anyway,
but yeah.
it's for like the Nina dramas and people like that to get like one-on-one time with some of the fighters and what have you. So DC was doing those too, I guess, for ESPN, and they started talking about their looks. And I think DC said something like, look at my face, like this, like I think he said my beautiful chocolate skin, something to that effect. And then Chimaev, his retort was, "Oh no, people like me. People like my beard. I look like a terrorist or something." And then they had a laugh about it. So whatever, kind of awkward, cute moment, mostly harmless, I would say. But as Dave is asking here, we do know Chimaev is unfortunately
he didn't call himself a terrorist.
He did call himself. He said, "I look like a terrorist."
Yeah, something very.
I'm sorry. He said, "I'm sorry." Michael Sparks says, "Sorry." The correct quote is, "Women like terrorists," was his quote.
Yeah,
like,
women like terrorists. Like it,
it was whatever. Very boys will be boys humor.
In the world of Sean Strickland sound bites, this is what we're hung up on.
This is how desensitized I am, Casey. I cannot even clutch a single pearl at this comment.
Yeah.
But yes, I take it in the context of we do know he is very closely associated with Ramazan Kadyrov, a warlord in Chechnya. Yes, it's an ugly thing to say. So this is, Dave, I'll just say this. This is one of those things. I don't blame people for laughing at it. Like I said, it was a cute moment. This is one of those things, though, that like when I praise Khamzat and talk about how much I'm a fan of Khamzat, I am looking so far the other way from his personal and political affiliations. Again, I don't know the details. I want to believe the best, that it's a matter of just like, he comes from that region. He has no choice but to be lumped into these associations. But I think it's a very generous reading from me. And for anyone who like cares about that stuff and is like put off by that stuff, I don't blame you at all. It sucks. It sucks that this is part of our business.
It's a generous reading. My honest to God first thought was like, it's just not a good joke. It wasn't like to clutch my pearls. If you want to, I'd go for it. I just thought it was a bad joke. I was like, do they? Or like, are women super into terrorists? That feels like that's not true, but maybe I'm just not up to date on.
He's ripping, Jed. He's ripping.
Women want.
He's ripping, sometimes he's getting away from you.
And like his third language. Just give him a break.
Exactly. It's funnier. It's funnier in Chechnya, in the Chechnya.
Or Swedish. Maybe, I don't know. I never went to like he called them, kind of alluded to being a terrorist. Also, I know this is kind of splitting hairs, but Kadyrov is like the actual political leader of that area. So by definition, he's not really a terrorist. Like he's the entrenched political entity, but that's a whole separate thing.
Not a good dude. Not a good dude.
Not a good man whatsoever. But like,
not a good dude.
Just I don't know. This is not the item that I'm like, MMA fans are irredeemable. But if it is for you, okay.
All right. Yeah. Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Appreciate it. Mike Heck will enjoy that iced Dunkin' coffee. Thank you.
No, this is my ship now.
You get the cash. We're gonna Venmo you everything.
Yeah. Problem is I don't like coffee, so I don't know what this is. Just gonna be. It's gonna be Marlboro Reds in honor of of Carlos Prates.
Classic. Just rip the filter right off. I like it.
Right. Who needs them?
What a man. Bill.
Jed, I realize I like your face because you look like the lead singer of Modest Mouse, one of my favorite bands. Happy birthday, aka DDP by Flying Axe Kick. I've never gotten that one before, so thank you.
I'm Googling right now.
I saw this come up and I Googled and it's not wrong. I've never gotten it before. Isaac something is his name.
Yeah.
Isaac Brock.
Yeah. I see the thing. I've never gotten that one before. Mostly, I really hope you're right. Because if DDP Flying Axe Kicks Khamzat, legitimately be the coolest thing that's ever happened in a fight. I'm just like my fandom would transcend, and I would just be called to the choir of angels if that happens.
Casey, can we get Isaac Brock up here on the screen here? I will send you an image, which I think is pretty good.
All right.
It's not bad. Like I looked it up when this happened.
Have you ever seen Modest Mouse live? Anyone? Yeah,
I
you
have
guys.
not.
I
I
have
only
not.
know "Float On" unless they
Oh.
have another song that was popular that I know.
Well,
That
that
was
was their
their
big. That
like,
was a big radio hit, but they
yeah,
have
yeah,
like
that was a custom hit, yeah.
dozens of very good songs.
They
But
The
that was
did
a
really
only
well.
radio
the
song.
only one I know at least off the top of my head is "Float On," which was an infectious song for however long it was.
Let's get that. I sent you the picture. We can get that up there while we.
Yeah, it's just all right. This is so important. We got to
If
get
if Jed shaved, I actually really see it. I didn't see it at first, and I was like kind of around the eyes ish.
Lazy Bed. I've gotten AJ Hawk before, so that's
too
not
big, too
entirely
big.
new, but
There
I
we go.
have.
Okay, that's
Sorry,
okay. No,
man.
that's good. That's good. That's
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, man
I'm
should
trying
grow a
to see
beard.
that.
Man should grow a
I
beard.
think there's pictures of it. There are pictures of him with a beard. I could be wrong, but
There
Yeah,
are.
yeah.
I couldn't find one. Cool.
All right, there we go. Thank you, Bill.
Thanks, Beal.
Thanks, Beal.
Yeah, but Modest Mouse, great band. Dig them. Lonesome Crowded West, still their best album. That was their major label debut, but Lonesome Crowded West and Moon and Antarctica, yeah, they were like one of those bands that kind of got me to start listening to quote unquote college rock when I was all about like metal and hardcore. I was like, you know what, all right, this is kind of good. So
I know they influenced a lot of bands that I've actually never listened to a lot of Modest Mouse, but every time I see interviews by like some other indie bands that came after them that I like, they're always like, oh, Modest Mouse, huge influence. And I'm like, maybe I should actually go listen to Modest Mouse.
Thank you, Bill. RS40.
Thoughts on battle weight issues? UFC cut him or make him go to 205. Also, my bold prediction is that Pico Murphy will be fight of the night. That is a very bold prediction. We touched a little bit on this at the very start of the show, AK, but Brian Battle missed weight 4 pounds for middleweight after having blown weight at welterweight. Fight briefly, he was fined 30%. Fight would go on, and then maybe an hour later, maybe not even that much, fight gets pulled off. AK, as both the tough champion, for the people, the champion of tough for everyone, and our weigh-in master, how disappointed were you in Brian Battle, and sort of what's the story here?
Before I say anything, I'm checking Brian Battle's Instagram live right now just to make sure that there's no statement to explain this. Okay, I see nothing. He has not commented nor posted anything in the last several hours. This was a horrible look, man. I was covering this live, and I was as generous to Brian as I could be. I said, you hate to see it. Terrible look, because he was one of the last fighters to show up. We all know he had trouble making weight in his previous weight class. And I said, and I stand by this, I hope he's healthy. I hope it's not a health-related issue. Jose had mentioned that his flight had actually been delayed. So it has been an unfortunately chaotic week for Brian Battle. But that is no excuse when you are moving up 15 pounds and somehow still not coming close to making weight. This cannot be a fight week thing, guys. This cannot be we thought we were going to get in a certain time for fight weekend, and we had this plan to drop 25 pounds in 3 or 4 days, whatever. That's not properly making weight, guys. That's not a proper change in division. Like, if you are still that far over and at a higher weight class, something is wrong. He won the Ultimate Fighter as a middleweight. He dropped down to welterweight. He missed once. He missed again against Randy Brown, his last fight, also by 4 pounds. 4 pounds over the 170 limit, guys, with the 1 pound allowance. Won a controversial split decision. Was not apologetic at all after when it's post-fight speech. I don't even know why they gave him the mic after, but some said something effective of, well, he took the money, so it's resolved. Like, I'm not going to apologize for it anymore. And it's like, that is crazy, but brother, like, you might think it's settled for you, but this is the stuff that fans remember. Man, fans remember this stuff. And then you move up and you miss weight by 4 pounds at a weight class 15 pounds heavier. I really hope Brian Battle's healthy, but the optics are horrible. Would not surprise me at all if come Monday morning, Brian Battle does not have a job with the UFC anymore. Would not surprise me in the slightest. That was bad. That was real bad.
Yeah, I think that they might cut him. I don't know, but they don't usually take kindly to this sort of thing. And so he'll need to be real apologetic if that's the case. I don't know, but really, really tough. It feels like of the things in this sport that are inexcusable and terrible, blowing weight when you move up a weight class is like the one that I think you could get any human being to be like, that's dumb. Like, a 4-year-old could probably figure out that you shouldn't do that. And so, yeah, super bad look. Honestly, kind of glad the fight's not going on. And yeah, probably won't have a job, or at least might not have a job. So
should not go to 205. Should not go to 205, at least not in the UFC. If he ends up going back to the regional scene, and we keep in mind his whole story was that he was a heavyweight once upon a time, right? We've seen those incredible transformation pictures of how he looked when he first started fighting MMA and how he looks now. Like, he's had a great journey. He's had a great weight journey, but now it's his body's whatever he's been doing with his body's come back to bite him, and it's tough. So if he does do a 205, yeah, maybe on the regional scene, but even in the UFC's like depleted light heavyweight division, I do not like his chances of doing anything. He's not Rumble Johnson, guys. He's not this huge, hulking, muscular one-punch knockout guy. That's not Rumble always looked weird at 170. Battle looked a little bit weird. He's not a 205 or should not do that.
Yeah, there's just too much unknowns about Battle's health or whatever coming into this fight. So yeah, sucks he lost a paycheck and sucks if he loses his job. Being a professional fighter just sucks in general. Let me just tell you that it's not a good occupation. So like, who knows? A lot of things, like when you cut to 170, it can, if they have bad weight cuts, it can screw your body up so much. So when you go up in weight, it feels like it should be easier, but your body is just messed up. So don't know.
You're torturing your body. You're slowly killing yourself. Like that's like actually what weight cutting is. And so it can have a lot of things. The only thing I'll say is that's literally like everything else. The fundamental part of being a professional fighter is making weight. And so I don't have a lot of sympathy for him, barring he got hit by a car or something. Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But thanks, RS40.
Yeah, thank you. I mean, hey, you can be arrested and in jail and then still get booked fights the next week. So missing weight's like whatever.
A lot of things. A lot of things happen.
Yeah, you're like, oh, you weren't professional. That's why we're gonna get rid of you. What? Come on, guys, pay attention. No, joking. Thank you, RS40. Sagar Patel.
Cigar. Saturday's main event's the best single fight of the year. What do you think is the best fight the UFC should make in the coming months? Anything other than Jack Islam got you juiced up? AK? What do you think is
what do you think I'm gonna say?
The rebooking the tough finale that fell off?
Okay, yes, we need to know ASAP when Donchenko and Cezinaldo are going to fight. Absolutely. But that's kind of in the books, right? That's kind of locked in. Like I said, he's Jack Islam. We put it in that category. It just needs to actually put pen to paper on that again. I need Ilya and Patty. I hate all this stuff like, oh, Patty doesn't deserve it. Who needs to beat a tough one? I don't give it. Okay, I don't care. They don't like each other. That's great stuff for a feud. I actually think you hate the Patty getting a title fight. He's won 7 straight fights. Is this not a meritocracy? Like, does that not mean anything?
It matters who you win. Who you can. You've got a lot of sevens.
Listen, I've seen people getting title shots off some whack 2-3 fight win streaks. All right, if a solid 7-fight win streak.
Oh, you don't need a win streak to get a title shot. What are you talking about?
You really don't. You don't.
Alexander Gustafsson got a title shot. They're getting knocked out by Anthony Johnson. Yeah, we're way past that.
Yeah, I know. But I want to think these things still matter. Yeah, it'd be nice to see it for him to beat a Gaethje, or if he beat Naporia on his way out or something, or like, yeah, of course, that's the ideal situation. But we always say this all the time. There is no ideal title challenger, well, except for Khamzat Chimaev, which we're getting on Saturday. This is so good.
Except for
other than that,
the reason we're here.
Yes, and then well, again, this is the Casey. This is the exception that proves the rule, man.
And that's why the thing is, like, he's not even ideal. Like, if we're being real, like, he doesn't deserve this title fight.
Oh yeah, beating a welterweight.
His best win is Robert Whittaker, who like a lot of other people have beaten at this point.
It's true.
Nasruddin Imavov 100 billion% deserves it over Khamzat.
I love the Ilya Patty fight. Whether you think it's because Ilya's going to smoke the crap out of Patty, great. Let's see it. Everyone keeps saying that's going to happen. It hasn't happened to Patty yet. So if he can knock out Patty, great. If he can just punch Patty around for 25 minutes, that would also be hilarious. Maybe Patty's grappling and size actually mattered. Maybe it makes a difference. Maybe that is the key to beating Ilya. Because listen, I don't know how you guys feel about Patty personally. It's hit or miss. Whatever, you might love him, you might not like him. But for the fact is, he has just been under a lot of scrutiny since coming to the UFC, and people keep counting him out. He can't get this fight. Oh, he got the fight. He can't win this fight. Well, he's not going to get this fight. Okay, well, he got that fight. He's not going to win it. He keeps pulling it off. So
what fight did he win that he was not supposed to win?
People thought Tony Ferguson was going to beat him.
What, Sean Al-Shadi thought that? Who thought that?
I don't know. Michael Chandler?
Thought that?
Michael Chandler?
Michael Chandler was... Okay, one underdog pick against a very fading
I saw
Michael
I saw
Chandler.
a lot of people saying that he wasn't going to beat King Green.
I mean, the odds were fairly close on a lot of these
Yeah.
fights.
That's what I'm saying.
Like
Like,
he was the favorite in every
Yeah.
fight he's had in the UFC, but the odds are close at least. It's not unreasonable.
That's
to
what I'm
say
saying. He
people thought
hasn't
was
done
going
it.
to
Like,
lose.
he hasn't. Like, what did you say? Like,
He wasn't a heavy favorite. I saw people saying Jordan Levitt was going to beat him too.
Well, everyone's
He
going
has
to say someone's going to beat him. It's like there's
Okay,
not
but Casey,
one
I'm
fight
saying,
you can
Casey,
name in existence.
Casey,
right?
listen. You asked me a question, and I
Well,
gave
so-
you
okay.
four.
Somebody said
examples.
Jordan Levitt was going to beat Patty Pimblett. You're right. Somebody said Jordan. Yeah, right.
I'm saying there's a considerable
I
amount.
said it.
If you want to dismiss, Casey, if you want to dismiss odds makers and dismiss,
no,
like,
we're
like social
dismissing
media
Patty
chatter, go
Pimblett
ahead.
as
No.
a reasonable
You
title
asked
challenger.
me. You asked me a question. I gave you four examples. I gave you four examples. But you can't just dismiss them with this whole like, oh, someone did it. Yeah, someone says everything, Casey. So every point is valid. But you're asking me like, was there a legitimate scuttlebutt that Patty was going to lose? This guy lose? Yes. Go look at social media conversations. Go look at articles that people wrote.
Go look at social media. Okay.
Where
I
else?
mean, that is conversation.
Casey,
though.
Yeah, I
Like,
know,
you're-
yeah.
Whose opinion? Casey,
I
whose
really
opinion
know.
are whose opinion are you going to do you want to use? I don't understand. Like, what source do I have to cite as the definitive? Oh, this person said that Patty's going to win or lose. Like, this is the one source we can trust. Like, that's not a thing. Like,
The
talking
U.S.
about
Supreme Court.
Yeah, we're talking about title
I
fights. We're not-
only
yeah.
care if the 9
Casey-
Supreme Court justices said Patty was going
listen,
to lose.
I know this because I've been having to defend Patty's case as a contender for a long time. I said after like his second fight, him becoming a lightweight talent challenger was not crazy, and people laughed, man. People said I was way out of line, and I wasn't like favoring it, but I remember these conversations. These are real conversations that happened, and people saying he had no chance. Well, guess what? He actually has a really realistic chance of becoming a lightweight talent challenger. So yes, I've heard all.
Oh,
the
he's already
anti-Patty
he's
talk.
already a title challenger. That's for sure. But I don't think he
Okay.
deserves it. That's all. It's
Well, let's
he's
acknowledge
not-
it.
No, but
'cause
what
money-
does
'cause
what does
money is there.
deserve mean? What does
Deser-
deserve mean?
If deserves mean who's making the most money for
then he really
UFC,
does deserve
then
it.
he deserves it
For sure.
1,000
For sure.
billion%. He
Yes.
should be champion if that's the fact. They should just make him champion if it's just about making money. And it is about making money, so maybe you're right, AK. Maybe
I
you're
like.
right.
I like. All I'm saying is I want to see the fight. I'm not saying he's the best lightweight in the world.
I actually
I'm
do
not
You
wanna
want
see
to
the
see the
fight.
fight next, or you
That's
just
the
want to see the fight? Because I want to see Ilya fight everyone that's good.
Sure.
So that's
I would be
saying
happy to see
much.
the
Arman-
fight next.
I
I
just
think
think the
Arman is
iron.
the fight I want more, but
Yeah.
I'd like to see the fight
I think
next.
the
if they did it.
Patty fight is so much hotter though. Like, just because he's actually fought more recently, right? And that's not Arman's fault. Arman got injured. What are you going to do? But like, yes, Arman deserves it more. But what fight do I want to see more?
Why
now?
did- what-
Man, give me.
So when you say what does hotter mean to you? Like why are you concerned about the hottest fight? I'm just actually kind of curious. As a fan, why are you concerned with the hottest fight, not rather the guy
'Cause-
that's the best that should go and fight the best?
Because I don't know for sure that guy like. I don't know for sure that I would pick Arman to kill Patty, obviously, if I was doing a pick straight up. But we don't know that. It's pretty speculative. Who have I seen like actually fight recently and put on good performances? It's Patty, right? I think Patty has again impressed against the opposition that he's been given. People can throw all that stuff out there, like, oh, this person was 0-2, 0-3. That's fine. You're right. Yeah, total facts. His last three opponents were 0-10 or something like their record, but. He beat them. They're veteran names. They're tough outs, right? So yeah,
you can only beat the guys in front of you.
Yeah, and I just think I'm just not, and I love Arman. I'm just not as interested because they have maybe I'm buying listen to the UFC too much. They have really downplayed him as a contender, unfortunately, and I hate that. I want Arman to get his shot again when the general interest is there, because right now it's not. And again, that's not his fault. That's the UFC's fault from crapping all over him for what I think was legitimate injury. Like people have said he had weight cut issues. Maybe that was the case too. I don't know. But he said back injury, whatever. And I think that was out of his control. So the point is there's a lot of negative sentiment towards like Arman right now. And yeah, maybe there's some about Patty too, but like the kind that people want to see Patty get his
I think the
in.
part that we kind of divide is that when you say general interest, because I don't give a shit about general interest, because that doesn't mean anything to me. I'm not making money off the pay-per-view. I'm not getting clicks. So if I just want the best versus the best, I still want Arman. Arman made championship weight for his backup fighter. So okay, that's we're done with that, So I'm ready, but I don't care about general interest. And I just want to see that guy I think's the best, who's the champ, and guy who's the second best.
I care about general interest because it is more fun to cover things that people care about. It just straight up is,
Wait,
and more people.
I think we're talking
More
from
people will care about it.
but that's talking from a professional perspective. I'm
No,
just saying,
from it is more fun to be involved in things that are more fun. I am with you, Casey, on that. If I could pick, I would do Ilya Armin because I think that's the two best guys, and so that is what I most want to see. But I also am pretty interested in the Paddy fight. I think that's the biggest fight the UFC could put on outside of a champ v champ fight. I think that it's very likely that that fight is the January first big event on CBS because it's one of the biggest things they can do and kick it off with a bang. But you're both wrong in that the answer to this question is very obvious and you've incorrectly answered it. The best fight the UFC could make is the number 1 and 2 guys, Ilya versus Islam. Like they still could do that. They're not going to because
in
of
the
what
coming
they
months.
said.
The question is,
well,
in the coming
they're not
months.
going to because they said they'd let Islam fight, but it is the best one they could make.
I still want
Certainly.
it. I still want that fight so badly.
So does everybody.
But it's not in the coming. The question is in the coming months. They won't. It's not going to happen in the coming months. We know that.
It still could happen in the coming months because it depends on how far you want to extend it. But
yeah.
If Islam beats JDM, it's not 0% that they do that. So, but the real answer, the one that they should do, is Dricus du Plessis, Reiner de Ritter. That's the actual answer. So,
regardless of what happens Saturday night,
either way, that fight should be next, but it would be better if DDP wins. But either way, those two need to fight next.
I will say, for me, it's Fluffy is equal. Like I can't pick. If I had to choose like one, I can't pick. I'm so fascinated to see how Fluffy would do against Dricus.
I think Fluffy would be a great fight. It doesn't hold the candle to DDP RDR. The only fight that is remotely in the neighborhood of that is DDP versus Yuri. That is my guiding light. Is those fights right? Oh my God, they'd be so fun. But thank you for the question, Cigar. Sagar. I hope I didn't butcher that.
Sagar, yeah. And I just want.
I know Patel. I know Patel's right. I got friends who are Patels, so.
Real quick, a realistic fight that could happen in the best few months. I mean, in the next couple of months, I want to see so bad. Shevchenko versus Weili at 25.
I was going to say.
That's
actually.
I mean, Kayla Amanda, that won't happen until next year, but Kayla Amanda's a sensational fight. And that's gonna happen,
Yeah. So actually, yeah, the two women, the two championship fights are big time.
Great.
Thank you, Sagar. A couple more questions before we get out of here.
Yeah, because we're coming up on time here. Pretty
it's a long show.
Yeah. Sorry.
It's not that long, but we're moving time at this point. From Dustin Kilburn, chances Khamzat retires with the loss this weekend. I'll just very quickly say, it seems like it's pretty close to 0. This whole story started because Kyle Bahalio was just like, I think he could retire. And there wasn't a lot happening, so people took it and ran with it. It's not like Kyle Bahalio is like friends with Khamzat or whatever. He just was kind of saying stuff. And Khamzat this week was like, no. So I think it's pretty low he retires.
Who got that quote? Was it that disturber Guillermo Cruz? Was it him?
I know we did at least one thing on One Morning Report on it. But like there were just a while where Kyle was like, I think he could retire. He's got a lot of money. And this week Khamzat was like, I don't know why he says that. I'm not like rich or whatever. So I don't think it's happening at all.
No, it's just not happening. That's all.
Unless like COVID happens again to him, because then he might, but no, otherwise no. But thank you, Dustin.
Yeah, thank you. And last question, unrelated to this card.
What do you think of Lucien Keita signing? I didn't see this at all.
I just looked him up. He's a 16-1 fighter out of Belgium.
I don't think he's
is the Octagon guy?
No, I know who he is. I don't think he's signed. I'm looking up right now. What? I
didn't see that anywhere, so I'm just...
I think they mean, what do they think about the UFC potentially signing him? Not that he is signed.
This is the Octagon lightweight champion. Yeah.
He's very good. He's very good.
Dude, yeah. I did not see anything about him getting signed. Man looks like $1 million.
Oh, okay. Hold on. I'm seeing it. Okay. Someone found something on the UFC. database. Oh, this is like just breaking now, because I see Nolan King also mentioning this. Okay, this like broke within the hour. It looks like.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Then that
his
might be
name is
why.
in the UFC Fight Pass database. So I don't know if there's an official thing or people just kind of
Oh, you know
putting it
that means they're
together.
putting his ass on Contender Series,
Oh
though.
no, hold on. I apologize.
Oh
He
wait,
put out
yeah, I
a
see somebody with it.
I'm sorry. He put out a social media post. I'm sorry. He put out it's a video. So it's a little video, a little 90-second video. Yeah. So it looks like we are down to Clown with Los Cadence. Yeah, this is a fantastic signing. He probably could have joined the UFC like at least a year ago, maybe even longer. Like this guy is really good. This guy is a real standout. And I'm not like super, I don't know his career super in depth, but yes, he's going
Two-division
to.
octagon champion.
Yeah, he's gonna fit right in. Let me put that. He's
Yeah,
gonna fit right in.
Looks like $1 billion.
Looks like
Getting
$1
off the
billion.
bus. So
It's gonna be perfect for a lot. I mean, they're gonna love to throw him in international cards for sure. It's gonna be a good way to build him up. I just hope they don't lob him into the Apex. If they could not do that, that'd be great. So even though I'm sure that will be at least one of his appearances, but yeah, a big signing and great job by the UFC lately with some of these international signings. This, people, we can be like cynical about their business practices and stuff all we want, but the reason they're number one, man, they keep bringing in talent. They keep finding talent all over the world. And are there guys that they're overlooking? Sure. Like I said, even Keita probably should have signed like a year ago.
Martin Boudet.
But justice for there is justice because
here's the thing is, I don't think they overlooked him. I think they
UFC.
looked right at him and made a choice.
He doesn't need the UFC. All right, so there was justice. He found justice. He is already signed, and he's going to be competing for a world title like he deserves.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, there's so much great talent out there, and Keita is definitely one of them. So yeah, very exciting stuff, man. The machine just keeps chugging along.
Cool. I think we can call it because we've got the things about the fire in a minute, the ceremonials. We got stuff to do. So y'all know the deal. First, thanks AK, thanks Casey for joining me on this journey. One more sleep, UFC 319 tomorrow. We got you covered with everything. We have ceremonial weigh-ins in just a moment, like 10-15 minutes happening. We will have a pre-fight Q&A tomorrow. We'll have normal coverage. Watch party, me and Mike Heck, fresh off Mike's PFL coverage tonight. Post-show and all the fixins coming your way. Thanks for tuning in, y'all. Best fight of the year in 24 hours. I guess a little bit more than 24 hours. Can't wait. Love y'all.
Bye. Bye, AK. AK.
Bye. Oh, what? I'm not looking.
Bye.
Oh, bye. Bye.
Bye.
I was waving. I didn't realize we were not.